Alright guys, hope you're doing well, hope you're all keeping safe. I was talking to Rogue Gaming recently, fellow content creator here on YouTube, and we got on the subject of how the new content for The Division 2 might be revealed. Now there's no doubt in my mind that we're only about, I would say, 4 to 6 weeks away from Ubisoft being given the green light to reveal what they've been working on for the next content installment. How will Massive reveal this content? Well, we don't know, but I know how I'd want it. Today I want to discuss what I believe to be the best and the only way the devs can give us this reveal, and take a look at your comments to the poll I put out earlier about this topic as well. Drop a like and subscribe to stay up to date with all my videos, and let's begin. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. If the new content is not revealed during a state of the game stream, then it's going to be a travesty and a huge disservice to this community. I know that's what I want, and without even looking at the poll I put out earlier, I guarantee you, I'd put my mortgage on it, that the majority of you want this as well. State of the game is unique to The Division and easily one of my favourite features of the devs' communication tools with this community. Host Hamish Bode moved on to another studio a little while ago, and the last stream we had was, I would say, about a year or so ago now, which does make sense because there really hasn't been anything to talk about for the past year. Not that that stopped me from making content and talking about the game. The thought of new content coming out in a number of weeks by any other method than State of the Game would, I think, feel very alien. A State of the Game reveal would actually feel alien as well at this point because it's been so long since we've had one, but it would feel alien in a good way. Just like the weekly maintenances we get, State of the Game has become synonymous with the Division franchise and was the one thing that I really look forward to every single week. And I'm not lying to you guys, I would finish work on a Wednesday. I would make sure I finish work early on a Wednesday so I could get home and get ready for State of the Game. And I can't tell you how disappointed it felt every single time the devs missed a week or missed a couple of weeks, or there really was nothing to really talk about. In fact, you know what, even when there was nothing to talk about, even when the devs literally said nothing, I still enjoyed those State of the Game streams. It's easily the second biggest thing that I've kind of been looking forward to returning with this game. Number one, of course, being some actual content. Now, for the purposes of proving my point about what this community wants to see with this reveal, here's the poll results after just a couple of hours. I know it's only what looks to be 455 votes, but I don't expect the majority percentage of 64% to get any lower. In fact, I'm actually expecting this to increase over time. A State of the Game to reveal the new content is, there's no doubt, it's by far and away the most popular vote. And I'm pretty sure Massive know this, but will Ubisoft let Massive, will let Yannick have free reign over the delivery of this new reveal? That is a big concern of mine. There's no doubt that Ubisoft are really on a bad run of form. Ghost Recon Frontline has been heavily criticised. Far Cry 6 is just more Far Cry, which for some people is great, but for me there's no innovation there. They're not pushing the boundaries, so for me that's kind of a loss. X-Defiant is a mashup of many Ubisoft IPs that again doesn't show any real innovation at all. In fact, it shows no innovation. It's just taking Ubisoft IPs and then mixing it with other modes from other games and creating their own game. There's no innovation there. Ubisoft are not in the good books of many, and financially I'm sure they are feeling the pushback. So it wouldn't surprise me if Ubisoft requests the new content be revealed at some kind of event, maybe a Ubi Forward event or something like that. Yeah, it would be Ubi Forward if it's towards the end of the year, or in some kind of pre-recorded YouTube trailer, just to maximize exposure. A more personal State of the Game will predominantly service only the players of the Division already, rather than any kind of new players. This is the unfortunate reality we might be facing, and whilst I'm a huge advocate of spreading the word far and wide about why you should play The Division 2, this new content needs that personal touch. Now, if they were to release maybe a pre-recorded, script of the devs talking about everything, plus a trailer or whatever on YouTube, that would be fine. Although I'd still want to see some kind of live, interactive stream with the developers so that we can kind of push questions out there and they can give us answers, that sort of stuff. Because I think that is what separates the Division's state of the game to other games. For selfish reasons, I'm a huge fan of the back and forth a live stream brings. I know some people don't enjoy it, but I personally do. I always loved as well the presentations where we had kind of charts and percentages. When we had the Gear 2.0 stream, I remember this containing a lot of numbers, charts and graphics, which for me was the perfect state of the game. The transparency this kind of stream brings is so refreshing and unlike anything that you're going to find offered by any other game studio. Yeah, you might have other studios, putting out articles where they say, this is with buffs and nerfs and all that kind of stuff, but there's no foresight behind it. There's no reasoning behind why those changes are made. And this is why something like State of the Game was so good. And just a past info, actually. But I find it so strange that Massive can come on stream and give us the most detailed presentation to explain their decisions when making changes to the game or introducing new systems. But one thing a lot of the community will complain about is the lack of communication. And I think that's because communication is too infrequent. We get these really detailed scripts of State of the Game, which we had previously, and then silence. And obviously we've had silence now for 10 months or more. But yeah, that was just kind of a passing thought. It's probably clear now that I've always been part of the camp wanting a State of the Game stream bi-weekly at the very least. I did enjoy it every single week, but I can understand that sometimes it's just not possible. I know there were some people that preferred a stream only when there was significant things to talk about, whether that be every week or once a month or even longer, but not for me. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing a while back that Yannick wanted State of the Game to return, and if I can find the tweet, I will include it here. I do think he has the appetite for that. Interestingly, a recent Ubisoft poll on one of their YouTube accounts asked players if they prefer game reveals and any additional information to be given all at the same time during the same event, or the reveals to be separated and additional information given at a separate event. Rogue Gaming actually sent me this, so thanks to him for that. If answering this question in relation to the Division 2, I'd want a reveal followed by more information provided during a state of the game. And this is because I'd want the inevitable silence between the reveal and the additional information to be filled with more information rather than silence. Because if you get given it all at one event and they say it's going to be out in 2 months, well, you know what's going to happen for those 2 months. People are going to complain that there's no news. So separate it, and that way you'll fill that void. I know that's what I'd want. And this is what I think is going to happen with the news for this game. In all honesty, I think we're going to get a pre-recorded reveal with some information and a trailer put up there on YouTube for people to see, followed by a date for a more personal state of the game where the remaining details will be given. And I'd be okay with this, I guess, because that will service me as a player of the game and potentially influence new players to get involved. But I cannot fathom a world where State of the Game doesn't return for this, even if it's just the one episode for the new content. I'd like to hear your comments down in the comments section below. If you're not subscribed to the channel, then unfortunately, you won't be able to actually take part in the polls, I don't believe. So I could be wrong about that, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and don't worry about it. But if I'm not, and you want to take part, then please subscribe, and that way you can, and obviously you can leave your comments to those. All the information I get back from these polls is really important because it helps with the topics of these videos. It helps me understand what the community wants, and quite clearly here the overwhelming majority wants to see this new game reveal come out on state of the game at the very least. As I said, I would be more than happy to compromise as long as state of the game is in there somewhere where we can have that back and forth, we can get those charts in, we can get those graphics in, we can get those numbers in, and that way at least I'll be happy. Thanks very much for watching. Until the next one, epic out.